Okay, so we're gonna listen to a song of the new album. It's the title track, Dancing with the Dead. And I figure we check out track by track, the drums and the guitars and bass. And let's just start with the drums, the whole pack. Here we go. And I just do I put it right into this tube tech and just compress the whole stereo to get the pumping and the more dirtiness into it, and a lot of room and stuff like that. And you can basically just go as crazy as you want. You can hear it just pumping, gets more energy. And also the bass is first lined and also mic'd up with a guitar amp, and just check that one out. It doesn't sound too good by itself, but together it sounds really good. A lot of piano and shit, and some chorus on it. I don't know, it sounds weird right now, but together with the drums and everything, it works. And I tried several basses, but I got this one, like a very, very cheap one that sounded actually best. This is like a, I don't know, 200 euro bass, It sounds pretty cool, so I decided to use that one. As far as the guitar package, let's check that out. It's actually 4 guitars, 2 on each side, and they're playing exactly the same stuff. And I put a Sans amp and also a Peewee 5150. There we go. Oh, we got some chugging. And just compress all 4 together in a subgroup, just to make them all work together and not make it overexposed with bass and high ends and stuff like that. It's easier to control since they're playing the same thing, Actually, on a couple of songs I use more like a 60s guitar, but it's for a certain song. But this one is ESP, the Eclipse that I'm using on it, because it sounds good, and that's why I use it. It's very simple. Anything that sounds good gets used, and together it sounds pretty cool. Let me see if I can get it. Then I did the guitar, try not to use so many keyboards anymore. I try to use the melodies that I used on keyboards. I use it more on the guitar nowadays. So not because it's just because to keep it more basic metal, rock and roll, whatever you want to call it, on certain songs. So it's more like heavy metal driven stuff, And so I just instead of doing it with the keyboard, I put it on the guitar, sound kind of cheesy like this, but a lot of chorus and shit, and just the guitars. Oh yeah, and then also I did some stuff with the programmed violins and stuff like that. And it was pretty cool because on the last album I went to a studio to put on real strings, and so I learned a lot by that. You know, I try to create it myself. You can never get this exactly the same sound, but you know, it sounds pretty cool anyhow for an old Roland keyboard. You know? You never know until you're done how it's gonna sound, and then you got to go back and change different kind of notes. I mean, especially you always start with the first the melody, you know, and then you put on some harmonies and stuff like that. Actually, on this one, I tried to build it up as they did with the last album, with the violins and cellos and stuff like that, and high strings and shit like that. So it's a lot on, but I never record it at the same time. You know, I take, you know, every instrument by itself, and then I put it up on the whole mixing board, and then I put it back to a stereo track. Where is it? Oh, here we go. With the choirs, I put up a shitloads of different, you know, like screaming, you know, like black metal, and a couple with death metal, a couple of high pitch, a couple of normal, a couple of lows, you know, and mix it together and put it into like a stereo channel. You know, I put down maybe, I don't know, 10 or 12 different tracks, and they always like, I repeat always like the normal tone in the voice, you know, 2, pan them each way, and then the high screams 2, pitch them, take them on each side, you know, just to get the, you know, the better, the more untight it is, the better effect is gonna be, you know. So it's just like ramble them up, you know, and then try to mix them as good as possible, you know, and then put them on a stereo channel with the whole thing, and put some compressor on it, you know. Usually when I start singing on Pain songs, you know, I don't even know the melody of the vocals yet, and I kind of figure it out as I go. And the more layers I put on you know, the choirs and stuff like that, you know, I see which one should be the main one. After like 4 or 5 different, you know, layers of different harmonies and stuff, I usually find the one that becomes the main vocal melody, you know. Here. Dancing with the dead. Here's. Dancing with the dead. Fear is all that was left when everything turned black. Dancing with the dead. Too much was never enough. Dancing with the dead. I've been dancing with the dead. Dancing with the dead. Yeah. Yeah, try also to do a subgroup where I compress the shit out of it, you know, to get it more angry, and you know you can hear you breathing like and stuff like that. You know, it's because the compressor, you know, it pulls everything down, so it just goes to a certain place, and when you start breathing, it stays there because the vocals should be up here and then go down breathing, you know. But now when it's all cramped together, you can hear everything, you know, and it makes it just a little bit more angry and more intensive, I think. The whole hook is the choirs and stuff like that. So what I did was just choose among shitloads of different choirs from both, you know, anything from Roland Sins, Kurzweil, all kinds of shit, you know, and just combine them together to make a little bit more, not to make it totally humanized, but you know, a little bit both. Because on certain stuff, some sound doesn't do it, so you have to have other kind of choir stuff, you know, just to make it work all the way through. You know, some keyboard sounds good on only a couple of notes and stuff like that, so you just combine with different keyboards that sounds better on other ones. I just go through the whole shit and just see what works. I never look back and see what it is, you know. Time's too short for that, you know. Here you got other stuff, you know, more male kind of shit, you know. It maybe doesn't sound too humanized, but together it gets really cool, you know. Also, you gotta have some sweeping blip blop bullshit. You know, like simple things that just runs through in between the speakers, you know. Okay, let's go back. Let's see. Just like a rhythm thing, you know. Get it more groovy kind of stuff. And I have some more stuff also here. More sweeping kind of stuff. Kind of typical paint stuff. And together it sounds pretty cool. Make the choir sounds a little bit more like old Black Sabbath kind of stuff, you know. But they had mellotrons and stuff, you know. Before I was writing the music with the keyboard, you know, with the melodies and stuff like that, and then putting the guitars on, you know, the riffs on top of the melodies and stuff like that. Nowadays, it's been more guitar riffed based songs, you know, that I put keyboards on, so it's the opposite now than it was, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. So maybe that's because I just want to go a little bit more guitar influence, basic songs. I don't know how to explain, you know, but it's more metal. Sounds okay. I mean, it's only an album.